Krista Ball was an anchor at one of the biggest news organizations in America, but now she's criticizing the channel where she once worked.
And Ball sat down with CBN's David Brody to discuss why she's speaking out against MSNBC and other cable news networks.
I think there can be this sense on the left and out in the public in general that MSNBC is like on Team Democrat and is an ally to Democrats and is pushing things that are going to be positive for Democrats. But ultimately, you know, what MSNBC really is, like other cable news networks, is it's a corporation and they're all about maximizing their bottom line. And so with the Mueller findings in particular, and I say this as someone who thinks what the president did and what the campaign did is very troubling, thinks we need to have election security, et cetera. But MSNBC went so far out on a limb in conspiracy theories that it really ended up being damaging. So when we learned what there was to learn about what the president did in fact do and the obstruction of justice and all of that, it was such a letdown compared to this idea built up day after day, show after show, that there was going to be some huge reveal and he had talked directly to Vladimir Putin or something crazy, right? I mean, they actually had, I named this specific example, Jonathan Chait of New York Magazine, who had written a cover story saying, what if Trump was a Russian asset going back to the 1980s? I mean, this was insane. It was pure conjecture. It's not journalism, right? And yet MSNBC was happy to have him on and sort of lay out this conspiracy theory saying, well, it may not be true, but what if it is? I think by focusing on that, and I say this as a Democrat, I think by focusing on that instead of, you know, some of the corruption in this administration that's real, some of, you know, more of what they've done to immigrants, their policy that's hurt the working class, they fixated on something that really is of very little import to most Americans, and in doing so really damaged the left. Look, this is my team in a sense, right? And I was there, and so when I criticize them, it lands in a certain way. That does not let, and my conservative friends were very excited to see me criticizing MSNBC, right? Fox News has been the worst in terms of they're basically a mouthpiece for the administration. It's hard to tell where the line ends between the Trump administration and Fox News. The conspiracy theorizing, they went down the path of the Seth Rich stuff, all of that, totally abhorrent at Fox. But I just wanted to point out that MSNBC needs to be seen as having really done damage here, not serving the public interest, certainly not serving Democratic interests, and got way out and over their skis on the Mueller stuff.
You're saying Fox News pretty much doing, to a degree, or if not even to a degree, the same thing? Because Elizabeth Warren has been very tough on Fox News, calling them a hate-for-profit group and or organization and all of that.
Well, and I agree with that. I actually think, I disagree with her. I think she should go on Fox News. I think she should face it head on the way that Bernie Sanders has as an example. But one of the distinctions is MSNBC is purely a corporation looking for profit. Fox actually was started as an ideological play. So it's both a profit-generating enterprise where the bottom line matters. It is also an ideological tool. So they really are trying to weaponize propaganda and advance Republican interests.
We're getting into a real murky situation where now we have Don Lemon hosts, or you're moderating, not moderating a debate, but being a panelist.
He was, yeah.
In essence, he was moderating, yeah. And also Rachel Maddow, I mean, was there with the NBC.
Yeah.
I mean, I can imagine if Sean Hannity on a Fox News debate was there. So I just wonder what this murkiness really means. I mean, this is, it leaves the viewer kind of scratching their head as to what's up, what's down here.
It does. And, you know, I want to be careful about playing into the president's rhetoric about fake news. That being said, I think people need to be really clear-eyed about the fact that these organizations are not about the public interest. In cable news, you know, that's where I've lived my career, so let me speak most directly to that. In particular, is about ratings. It's infotainment, right? It's whatever titillates a viewer. Trump has benefited from that more than anyone.